Welcome to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on the campus of Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge for tonight's SEC Gymnastics, featuring the number 3 Crimson Tide of Alabama as they visit the number 4 Tigers of LSU. I'm Bart Connor, following the action today along with my fellow Olympic teammate Kathy Johnson-Clark and Laura Rutledge. And you talk about 2 of the hottest teams in the SEC. Well, we have them tonight. Look at their scores from last week. LSU had their season high in an away meet and a victory over Florida, and Alabama at home, their season high, 197.55. So 2 teams with big stars who can make big scores coming into this contest tonight. And as you can see, the roar zone is in full force here at the PMAC. They're expecting a sellout tonight. Incredible, Kathy.
Just to give you an idea how big that score is, a 198 is on a 9.9 average. So both of these teams are so capable of huge scores. Even 10s we saw from Lauren Beers in the last competition. And Ashley Nat, or Bugs as everybody knows her, has come up huge, scoring a 10 on both the floor exercise and the vault. So we're in for a treat this evening.
Talk about how good LSU is at home. Well, 20 straight wins here in the PMAC. And in fact, their last loss was this very weekend, 3 years ago, against Alabama. So Alabama, coming off their season high, comes here into the PMAC with goals of upsetting the Tigers, who have had an incredible streak. There, of course, is Dana Duckworth, the head coach at Alabama, who is now in her 2nd season of that legendary program that was started by Sarah and David Patterson. LSU will open on the vault. You can see their lineup. They lead the NCAA. This is always a good event for LSU. They're powerful, explosive, and they do high degree of difficulty.
Absolutely, and they've gotten better and better each competition. They're now really focusing in on the fine details and that all-important landing. If they can rein those in, we are in for some huge scores on this first event.
Juliana Canamella, the freshman out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, will lead them off.
Very nice beginning. Didn't quite get the perfectly stuck landing, but very elegant in the air. Showed nice amplitude. Good technique on this vault. Beautiful straight legs, perfectly together. Just that little shift on the landing, sliding the 1 foot back.
Now the visiting Crimson Tide will open up on the uneven bars. That's the typical order for the visiting team in a dual meet. Keely McNear was set to go on bars in the first rotation. We got a note just a few minutes ago, suffering from congestion.
She will compete on bars. They've taken her out of vault. That's where she was most affected. Now she missed this release move in the 30-second touch warm-up right before competition. No problem here. Really hit that handstand right up on top of the bar.
The junior is often in that leadoff role on this event for the Crimson Tide.
It's a tiny bit short on the bail to handstand, the transition to the low bar. A little bit conservative on the final handstand. But a solid start for Alabama on the bars.
It's a good event for the Crimson Tide, ranked 3rd in the country on bars.
Notice how she really hits that handstand position, a little bit of a pike position, and double layout, little leg separation right before the landing, but comes up with a pretty good dismount and a nice landing.
Sydney Ewing, the junior from Lafayette, Louisiana, will be next to go. 3-time All-American. The score, by the way, for Juliana Canamella in their leadoff role, a 9.825.
This is a 1.5 twist. Valued at a 10.0 start value. Very nicely done. Just a little hop forward on the landing.
Very good control on a landing that lands flipping and twisting forward.
Absolutely. Blind landing, lands facing away from the horse.
So Keely McNear for Alabama, even though she was dealing with congestion, came up with a strong 9.825 in their leadoff performance. Ari Guerra next to go, the freshman from League City, Texas. Did her club training at Texas Dreams. This season she has been on bars and floor so far for the Crimson Tide.
Dana Duckworth has been playing with the lineup on this event, really trying to find the right combination, right position for every athlete. Here's her release move. Perfect distance away from the bar. You really want to see that stretch and reach for the regress. Oh, a little adjustment in that handstand. She was at least right on top of the bar, however. A little bit of form issues on those kips before she goes into the handstand, but gorgeous position in that double layout. That was very, very well done. And when you hit that shape in the air, it's so much easier to find the landing.
Just remind viewers the rules here in collegiate gymnastics. 6 gymnasts compete on each event. The best 5 scores count towards their team total. After 4 apparatus, the team with the highest cumulative score wins, and the home team gets the so-called Olympic order, and the visiting team gets the reverse of that.
Sarah Finnegan, for the Tigers.
The score, by the way, for Sydney Ewing in the second spot was a 9-9. Sarah Finnegan did her vault. The freshman from Lee's Summit, Missouri. This happened just a moment ago.
Beautiful form in the air. It's not a huge vault in terms of amplitude, but it was sufficient. The form was gorgeous.
So 2 9.825s in a row for Alabama, because Ariana Guerra got one. Amanda Jeter now, the junior from Milford, Ohio, did her club training at Cincinnati Gymnastics. She's a 4-time member of the U.S. national team.
Wonderful seeing her in the lineup, opening with a gorgeous handstand. She's had a sore ankle all season long, but one of the silver linings of that is you can really work on the uneven bars, work on your swing. And this is a really nice routine she has going, showing off the handstand position. Very, very tight, beautiful position in the tuck, but just almost like ran out of gas on the double front and could not control the landing. A little short of rotation. Just tried her best to pull it forward, but her hips were too far back and had to take several steps back to regain her balance.
Back to vault now, Jessica Savona. She has been honored here tonight as one of the 3 seniors. Her last home meet for the Tigers. Sarah Finnegan, by the way, had a 9.825. So 2 9.825s and a 9.9 so far.
And Dee Dee Bro's comment to her was, relax, this vault is second nature to you, a 1.5 twist, and when she does, she pulls it off nicely. Sometimes you can just think too hard and want something too badly. If you relax and let that natural ability come through, very nicely done.
She seems to be coming into proper form here in the late part of the season. We'll be focusing over the next month or so on postseason, the SEC championships coming up in a couple of weeks. And so for LSU, this is their second to last meet of the season in the regular season. For Alabama, this is their last. So Alabama will have a 2-week rest before the SECs, which will be on March 19th in Little Rock, and we'll be covering that live. It's going to be exciting. Amanda Jeter had a 9.575, so that's a score they'll hopefully drop if they can get some good routines here. Kiana Winston. Oh, no!
That is a shame, because this is a superb routine. She was so aggressive on the release move, was so high, looked like it was going to be the perfect distance away from the bar, and it was just a little too far out. They really count on a huge score from this young lady with such natural ability. Look how she floats that pack salto down to the low bar. Keep in mind, each team can drop 1 low score on each apparatus, and of course this is the one they'll hope to drop, and it's unfortunate because it's a big routine and usually comes up with a big score.
Missed opportunity for the Crimson Tide. What happened here, Kathy?
Toe on reverse hack, and boy, she was just, I mean, out on the edge of her fingertips, but could not quite get the grasp. You really got to get your grip over that bar to hang on.
Maya Hambrick now.
Yurchenko full twist. Now, I've seen better vaults from Maya Hambrick. She held back just, maybe got a little bit conservative, thinking ahead to the landing.
Who's last year's SEC vault champion. By the way, before her, Jessica Savona had a 9.875. Mackenzie Brannon will be set to go now. A lot of pressure on the Crimson Tide here. When you're a visiting team, you need to be strong on bars, because if you fall too far behind as a visiting team, it's hard to get back into contention in a team battle here, especially as strong as LSU has been at home for the last 3 years running.
That said, all of these experiences that the athletes have during the regular season will benefit them, even the tough ones. When you're in a situation like this, like Matt Brannon going, the pressure is amplified when now it's a must-hit situation, and you have to come up with a clutch performance.
So the score of 9-1-5 for Kiana Winston will be the score that is likely dropped. They will have to count a 9-5-7-5 for Amanda Jeter. So that is a big blow for the Crimson Tide here in this opening rotation. Let's see what Mackenzie Brannon can do. This is typically a very good event for her.
Absolutely, and what you can't do is try to go harder than you normally would. You can't do more. Here's her release move. Very, very well done. Ooh, a little sag in the back there, the arch. So just a little bit of nerves right on that handstand, but other than that, the routine has been solid. Double layout, came up with a great landing. That's exactly what they need in that situation. Good.
Check me out. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. All the enthusiasm and optimism.
Boy, this program here at LSU has grown so much. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. It's so great to be down here in the PMAC because this place is full. There's so much enthusiasm for this program that's really on the rise. And we saw it on vault. They're explosive and they're fun to watch.
It's absolutely electric. And just 3 meets ago, they really started stepping up a notch. They're getting more consistent, more confident. They're really competing like the championship team they hope to be. And I'm sure in the back of everyone's mind is 2 weeks away, SEC championship. So they are really gearing up for that.
Now, of course, Alabama has won the SEC championship. The last time that LSU won it was back in 1981. But they have the team that could do it again this year, don't they?
The one thing that's on the line for LSU, they would like to get a great score to improve their RQS and hopefully move up in the standings in the conference, because that determines what event they start on at SEC championships. Could be the bars or it could be the balance beam. So there's a lot riding on this.
Certainly is. Here we are wrapping up this incredible season that we have had here, and there is Lauren Beers, who has given us many thrills, and in fact last week a personal thrill for her, a perfect 10 on the vault at home at Coleman Coliseum. Don't go away, folks.
Back support if you need.
Alabama, we saw them have a little bit of a rough start on bars. They're a half a point behind. They're going to an event vault, which is typically a huge event for them. You see their lineup, and they're currently 5th in the NCAA on this event. And this is where they've been changing their lineup a bit. Abby Armbrecht will go first. Originally, it was going to be Keely McNear.
Great opportunity for this young lady, and the more they can give these athletes the experience under pressure, the oh no. Oh. She completely got off on the takeoff, on the roundoff. You could tell right there it was not going to happen, and this obviously will be the score they want to drop. She was off the end of the board. This could have been much, much worse than it ended up. And it's one of the reasons why we have that mat around
the zone
board.
Mat.
The zone mat is to protect that.
Wow, good thing she's okay. I know she's disappointed, but she wasn't even in the vault lineup until just a short time ago, and they decided that Keely McNear's congestion was just too bad, so they pulled her out. So let's go over to LSU now. Jessica Savona, we saw her on vault. Here she is now on the bars, the 6-time Canadian national team member.
And I really like seeing her get into a better rhythm on this event. She's gotten much calmer, taking her time. There's a full pirouette into the dismount, double layout, fought for the landing. And this place is going crazy for this team. It is so loud in this arena. finishes with the double layout and really fought to turn and salute the judge before taking that step backwards.
That's the oldest trick in the book, though, Kathy. You got to admit that. All right, unfortunate start there for Alabama. A missed opportunity for this young lady, Abby Armbruster. So Nikki Guerrero will be next up, the sophomore from McKinney, Texas.
This is a 1.5 twist. They all look just a little bit off on that round off. She pulled it off nicely, however, with great distance from the table, I might add.
Our score for the Tigers, Jessica Savona, 990.
Oh boy, well, Alabama is vaulting. Savona's score just came in on LSU's bars. Their leadoff performer, a career high on her senior night, a 9-9. Maya Hambrick, the sophomore from Temple, Georgia now.
This is a very nice routine. Just technically, also the variety of skills. There's a full pirouette into the bail. Often the gymnast just casts up, goes right into the bail, the transition to the low bar. She adds the full pirouette, little short on that final cast to handstand. Full twisting double back dismount. Little stutter hop on the landing, but very nice routine. There's a full pirouette. I like the way they add these type of skills in the routine. Just upgrades the level of difficulty.
We'll head back to vault. Jenna Brissett, a freshman from Kansas City, Missouri. Nikki Guerrero, by the way, had a 9.85 following up after the 9.25 leadoff.
She's doing the Yurchenko fall. Ooh, major pike down there. They're gonna definitely take a deduction. Landed with the chest down. Really had to pike down for that landing. She has another vault, a half twist on front pike, but they opted to do this right here. Really pikes down. Notice how her head and chest, she's almost in an L position with the body parallel to the floor.
She's hoping to debut that new vault, that half-on pike front off later on in the season. They thought they might give it a shot here tonight. They would be one of the few teams in the country with 4 10.0 start value vaults. Ashley Nat set to go now, and Maya Hambrick had their second 9.85 in a row.
Cool seeing Bugs here on the uneven bar. She's typically not in this lineup. And if she can just calm down, slow down her rhythm, she tends to rush a bit on this, and so far, so good. She's not the most natural bar swinger, but this is a hard-working gymnast who has really improved on this event. Nails the landing. She shows off everything that she can do well. There are little flaws in there, but she just covers them so beautifully, and the smile on her face when she nails the landing on her double layout, that is priceless.
It's a rare appearance in the all-around for Ashley Nat, and I'm sure she's thrilled to get that one out of the way, because on the other 3 events, she's just money all day long. Wow, good for her. Mac Brennan set to go. Jenna Brissett a 9.8 before her. So decent scores, but not 9.9s yet for Alabama.
This is their second of 3 1.5 twists. Oh, it's too bad she couldn't do the one she did in warm-ups, which was absolutely beautiful. She tried to see the landing here rather than feel it, so she took this big step forward.
We'll go back over to bars for LSU. Randy Wyrick is set to go. Laura?
Well, Bart, Randy is still dealing with a thumb injury, and she works through that pain on bars. It especially bothers her on her blind skill leading into the Tkachev and leading into the bail. So they tape the thumb up, and that helps her. But it does take a little extra toughness on this routine.
And you can see the tape on her right knee. She also tweaked her knee in warm-ups for vault last week down at Florida. The senior from Las Vegas acknowledged here on senior night.
Here's the skill Laura talked about, that full pirouette that sets up her release move. It's a nice upgrade to do it before, because her release move is not huge in terms of amplitude. So she shows off an additional skill prior to it. rushed on that last handstand. Getting ready for her double layout. And they have definitely caught fire on the landings here on bars.
Boy, they're almost contagious, aren't they?
Yes,
and when
absolutely.
you get 12,000 people on their feet, it's almost like anything you can do, I can do better.
As I said, they're gonna take a little deduction there. Not quite the height you want to see on the release move, but boy, they can't take anything off on that landing. It was perfect.
Mac Brennan had a 9.85 for Alabama on vault. So Katie Bailey set to go, the junior from Kernsville, North Carolina.
Oh, thought she was going to have that landing. Looked like she had stuck it and then shifted the leg behind.
It was very high, good block off the vault table.
She has a very pretty vault. It's very effortless. This is new this year. She did a Yurchenko half last year, had to pike down ever so slightly, and then couldn't quite keep that right foot glued next to the left one.
Back to LSU. Their scores, by the way, 9.9 and 2 9.85s. Still waiting on the score for Randy Wyrick as we take a look at Sarah Finnegan, who is a real bright light for the LSU Tigers this year. Haven't you been impressed, Kathy, with what you've seen for this young
She's
lady?
a beautiful gymnast. Technically, she's very, very well trained. Competed at the elite level, and you can really see that in her gymnastics.
The score just came in for Wyrick, a 9.925. So a second senior in the bar lineup getting a career high on senior night.
Sarah builds her routine around this toe-on move right here. Toes go on the bar, shoots up into her release move. She'll do it again right here. Toe on handstand, beautiful handstand position. Shows such finesse on this event, and the toe point is to die for. Beautifully done.
Wow, another stuck landing.
Absolutely, I don't think it's possible. I think they got something in the mat right there that just grabs them, sucks them right into a perfect land. And look at the beautiful line on that handstand. And she maintains the toe point throughout the release move. And look at that, another stuck landing.
Okay, Laura.
Well, Lauren Beers and Dana Duckworth trying to decide whether or not she should throw a 1.5 or a full here. They've decided on the 1.5. At least that's what it looks like. And she's telling herself, you can do this. Don't mess this up and trust it.
She had a huge one last meet.
With a perfect 10.
Oh, she wanted it so
she was going
badly.
for that stuck landing.
Definitely going for a stick. It was nicely done in the air. She landed a little too stiff-legged here, but she was really attacking that landing and landed kind of far back. Those are the ones that make us old gymnasts cringe a little for knees, but she handled it.
Okay, so the senior wraps up the vault lineup for Alabama as we go to the final LSU gymnast on bars, Shea Zamardi. Sarah Finnegan, by the way, her score is a 9.925. That's the third career high on bars for LSU.
Sets up this routine nicely. This routine has 3 release. There's the first one, right into the pack salter, down. The first 2 release moves are transitions from bar to bar. And the third one comes up right here after the blind change, front giant into the mark lock. Nice flow to this routine. And I know what she's thinking. Oh, couldn't quite get that double front. Now that's a harder dismount to stick. I've seen her stick it. This was just a little bit tougher. Watch how she releases the one hand a little sooner, sets up the half twist, and then the double front.
Good job for the 2015 first team All-America on uneven bars. Okay, Laura, are you with Dana?
I am. Thank you, Bart. And Dana, you just told your team it's not how you start, it's how you finish. What do you hope to see from them going forward?
Well, at this point, it's kind of like you can't do anything about what just happened, but you can certainly move forward with a great attitude and give the best effort. We got hesitant, and I know that every experience we have is a learning opportunity. And, you know, we want it to be a tight meet. We want it to be exciting for the fans. So now we need to go out there and just do what we're capable of. Relax and light the house for the next 2 events. That's all we really can do.
What do you know about your team that gives you that faith that they can go out there and do what they're capable of?
Because when they get like this, they want greatness, and they know they're capable. So it's that we are more capable of this. They're already disappointed, more disappointed probably than I am. And so now it's how do you use that to be mentally tough and use this to make you better.
Thank you, Dana.
Roll Tide.
Sure love the spirit of Dana Duckworth. You can tell she spent some time in the corporate world. She'd be an excellent motivational speaker because she says all the right things and she knows how to get her team to peak at the right time. So here are the scores. By 0.8 of a point, the home team LSU is rolling tonight.
LSU.
I mean, we only get 4 years to show what we can do and to carry on the legacy that's already been laid before us.
I think the idea of protecting the legacy was just ingrained in their hearts.
And obviously, this program is one of the top.
You know, the heart, the passion, and everything that went in to build this program, and just to be able to continue that legacy on and be part of that is just a great experience.
And what a magnificent job that Dana Duckworth has done. 21 years with the program. She took over after the legendary Sarah and David Patterson. For 36 years, they won 6 NCAA championships. And she tells us day in and day out she's enormously honored to be able to protect the legacy of this incredible program at Alabama.
I told her she was just born to be a head coach. She has all of the qualities necessary, including having been there. I mean, she has competed at the highest level. And she shares this heart with them too. They're all like mama bears to all of their athletes, and it's impossible not to be. And to see the growth and the maturity of these young women has been amazing.
All right, we're all focused on the upcoming postseason, and it's all going to come down to your RQS. What is that? That's your regional qualifying score. And here's how it's calculated. You take the top 3 away scores, and then you take the next 3 highest scores, whether they're home or away. Then you drop the highest of those 6 and then average the remaining 5 scores. And that's how the teams will be seeded coming into the SEC Championships, which are in 2 weeks. March the 19th will be in Little Rock. And the teams at this point are seeded like this. Florida, Alabama, LSU, and Auburn are the top 4 seeds. They'll be in the evening session of competition. We'll also cover the afternoon session. We'll be live, folks. Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, and Kentucky will compete in that 2 p.m. session. So it is going to be an incredible day of gymnastics with some of the finest collegiate gymnasts in history. Here are the scores. LSU, an 0.8 of a point lead at the halfway point in today's competition. Aaron McAdag will take the LSU Tigers to the beam, and the Crimson Tide goes to the floor.
Red Farm.
25095. Don't delay. Order now.
Alabama on the floor now. As we mentioned, they're 0.8 of a point behind. So this is always a good event for Alabama, and Asia Sims usually gives us a thrill. The junior out of Orlando. Alabama's ranked 4th in the country on the floor.
And it's always more difficult, more challenging to perform your floor routine at an away meet, especially one, as they call this, a hostile environment. They are not cheering for them, but she performs as if they are. Really covered pretty well the big step backwards. They will take a little deduction there, however. Just perfection on those leaves. much better landing on the tuck double back. Strong performance.
Nice.
Very, very nicely done. Just tiny deductions on the landing on that first tumbling pass.
Tigers, Aaron McAdoo, 9925.
Back to the beam now for Alabama, Maya Hambrick. You see that she's tied for 10th in the NCAA, just under a 9.9 average. Aaron McAdoo, 9.925 in a leadoff spot. That's huge. This is the kind of beam performance we saw from them last week against Florida.
Maya has been incredibly consistent in the all-around all season long. She has stepped up her gymnastics phenomenally. I love that combination. Wow, she covered that really nicely just by swinging the leg forward, landing with it in front instead of behind. Quick thinking, also there. She's been just a tiny bit off on every event thus far. But the sign of a great gymnast is they can cover those little things, not turn them into major things. This is a sport that it's impossible to be perfect every time out, and she has done remarkably well.
She knows how to finesse those landings very well.
I mean, this is really what you want to see in an athlete. Slightly off, but boy, does she fight from start to finish. She was not going to give it up. Tremendous, tremendous performance.
There is
right
that
here,
1-2 punch.
Into the aerial cartwheel. Now, somebody else might have missed that completely, and she just swung the foot forward, off to the side on that round-off dismount, but handles it beautifully.
I love what Dee Bro says about her. Who is this Maya Hambrick anyway? The
Where did she
sophomore
come
from Temple, Georgia. Wasn't on the top of a lot of coaches' radars, but boy, has she delivered for LSU. Back to the floor now. Ariana Guerra. She is in for Amanda Jeter.
Alabama is really working toward having all of their first passes be E-moves, opening with bigger skills. They didn't with this routine, but they all have upgrades they're working on. By postseason, that's what they want. 1.5 twist to the front layout, into a front pike, right into a jump. Nice combination. This music really suits this gymnast. Very powerful, strong. She opened with a tuck double back, is finishing with a pike double back, showing more difficulty on the final pass. Well done. Good for her, stepping in at the last minute.
Leading scorer for the Tigers, Maya Hambrick.
All right, a couple of weeks from now, make sure you join us for this. This is going to be unbelievable. March 19th, we'll be in North Little Rock. Session 1 of the SEC Championships at 2 Eastern on ESPNU, and then Session 2 at 6 Eastern on the SEC Network. And then SEC Plus coverage of all 4 apparatus, including all-around channels, showing all events simultaneously. We've never done this, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Who does that? Well, we do now. Michelle Gauthier. Maya Hambrick had a 9.9. Gauthier is in that 3rd spot, and Dee Bro says every week we leave that spot. It's not a property of one athlete, but it's property of LSU gymnastics, and she lets them fight for that spot, that lineup position during their week of training. Oh no.
I was just about to say, Michelle has done such a great job earning this place in the lineup.
She
as I mentioned,
third
it's
senior who's being honored.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of pressure here competing at home with so much expectation. A lot of emotion for these seniors as well as they perform for the final time at home.
You know, she's a favorite among her teammates because they said she, even though she hasn't made the lineup a lot, she has been a real leader in terms of spirit and enthusiasm her entire career here at LSU. So she's greatly appreciated.
She regrouped, has come back strong for the remainder of the routine. The fall, of course, will be 5/10 of a point deduction. Nailed the 1.5 twist. Nicely done on the landing, but too bad.
Well, I know she's disappointed, but it doesn't ruin her fine career with one of the best teams in the country.
Just rush the landing. You really got to set it up square, hip square, shoulder square. Follow through on that landing. Notice how her foot landed a little off kilter, and she just couldn't recover.
Next on floor for the Crimson Tide, Katie Bailey.
Katie Bailey will be set. Ariana Guerra, a 9.875.
Katie's dealing with a little bit of a leg injury thing. That's what that's what the coach calls it. She has a leg thing going on. We don't know exactly what, but it's been bothering her. Here's an example of the E pass, Arabian double front.
Now, you mentioned a higher degree of difficulty. As we get ready for the postseason, SECs and Nationals, the top teams are going to be doing extremely high difficulty. So a lot of these teams realize the regular season, they can nurse some injuries and get through. But by the time postseason comes around, they have to be going for the hard tricks because they will be differentiating at that level at the Nationals.
It will take that. It's going to take to close to a 9.9 average to win SECs and Nationals. And you really have to have the higher level of difficulty.
There's a rule this year that has always been in place, but it's a little bit more predominant this year, is this up to the level of competition. And so if other competitors are doing really high level of difficulty and you do an easier routine, you can't get the same score. That's just how it works.
Where they will deduct from is in the area of dynamics. There are ways for the judges to differentiate within the code of points. And we will see that more in the postseason. Very nice job by Katie Bailey. You know, it's not easy. The first half of the competition hasn't gone exactly the way they hope. They're trying to come back strong here on the floor exercise.
Sydney Ewing set to go now. Michelle Gauthier had a 9.275, so that'll be the score they'll like to drop. Remember, Macadeg had a 9.925, a season high, and then Hambrick a 9.9. So here goes Ewing.
And she competes very, very confidently, very aggressively. We saw her teammate just fall, and was primarily because she didn't put her foot down with authority. You really have to attack these landings. Watch this back handspring. Layout in straight body position. Here, lands on 2 feet. Very well done. Each of the gymnasts have special cues, usually just single word cues that trigger the sequence that they need to follow on certain skills or combinations.
I love this about her, that she was third on beam in the NCAAs in 2014 as a walk-on. There's lots of numbers.
Nice combinations, standing layout into the straddle jump. Again, this is something that LSU does very well. They add more than they need to, and they've worked on the consistency. They're finally getting that. So the higher level of difficulty will pay off when they hit, and if they hit consistently, they'll be hard to beat, especially on this event. It's so nice to see something different. So many of the athletes do the layout step out, the layout to the 2 feet, and the standing back layout right here. And watch, she goes right into straddle jump with a quarter turn, just showing more difficulty, and even on the dismount, a 1.5 twist.
Kenzie Brannon will go next. The sophomore out of Austin, Texas, did her club training at Capital Gymnastics. Highly recruited former junior Olympic champion.
She also opens with an Arabian double. Has to feel this landing. Very well done. Good landing. Back with her pike double back. Well, the good news, at least competing here, you can hear them say Roll Tide. When you're in Alabama, the crowd's cheering so loud you can't even hear the cheer.
I wouldn't say it's a hostile environment here, but there are 12,000 people sitting on their hands right now.
Most of them are wearing purple.
Fair enough. That's what it is in the SEC, and that's what makes it so great. They're passionate fans, and boy, do they love their teams.
1.5 twist to a front layout. Very good control, and her teammates love it. They are providing the energy for this team in the arena.
Katie Bailey before her had a 9-9, so good scores for Alabama. 9-8-5, 9-8-7, 5, and 9-9.
What an Arabian double is. It's half twist and then double front, blind landing, and she handles it beautifully.
Look at the scores here on beam. That 9-2-7-5, the only blemish. 2 9-9s and a 9-9-2-5. Finnegan and Nat will be their final two performers.
And this is a lovely routine. Here's her skill, triple wolf turn. She came out of it early last meet, did a 2.5, but boy, did she do that well here. And that's the kind of skill that you just do not put in your routine unless you do it consistently well, and she does. Seeing so much fight in this athlete. She's finally getting used to competing every weekend. Oh no, had to save that.
Yeah, because she came from that elite world of gymnastics. She was at Great American Gymnastics Express in Kansas City, and she was an alternate to the Olympic team just in 2012. So she came from a different world, and this week in and week out is tough, isn't it? It's a big transition.
Absolutely. Aerial cartwheel to the dismount. Beautiful routine. This was a better routine than she did last meet, all except for that one leap where she was slightly off kilter. But count this, 1, 2, 3. I call it the Finnegan again and again. Switch leg leap and a switch half. Boy, she had to really fight to get that other foot back down and save it. But the rest of the routine was spotless.
Okay. Lauren Beers for Alabama now. Mac Brennan had a 9-9.
And Lauren had the best routine of her season last meet. On this event as well. Finally let go of the pressure. Went for it big time. Her double layout gets better and better each meet. She's controlling the landing better.
A big emotional competition last week at home. It was senior night in Tuscaloosa. She has really been a fine student athlete at Alabama, not only a great All-American athlete, but two-time Elite 89 award winner, which is for the top student athlete in gymnastics, and a deserving winner of that award. She's actually finished her undergraduate degree. She's now in grad school.
See if she can get the final landing, control this. Very strong routine. Boy, Brian Rochilla was so excited about that routine. I saw the fist pump there. Really happy to see her letting go some of the pressure. She's been holding herself to such a high standard, expects so much from herself.
Back to the beam now for LSU. Sarah Finnegan had a 9.9, so there are now 3 9.9s and a 9.925. How about that? Let's go to Laura.
So Bart, LSU does a thing during the week in practice called double beam, where they do 2 beam routines back to back, and they have to hit everything. If they fall, they have to start all the way over again, and everybody has to start over, the whole lineup. So Ashley Natt said it gives the great pressure to practice for meets, and she really likes it. It's helped her a lot in her competition.
She is truly having a spectacular season thus far. Handled so much pressure competing in her home state when they competed against Florida. Came up with 3 9.95s, including, Good news is she had 3 jumps in a row there, so she had the special requirement met, even though she broke between the first and second.
You need to connect those leaps.
Absolutely.
Five-time All-American, is having her finest season so far. As we noted, she scored perfect 10 3 times this year. The only gymnast in NCAA this year to get 3 times.
Very soft landing on that back handspring layout, step out. Really like seeing it at the end of the routine, right before the dismount, so they spread the difficulty throughout. She does a double twist, opens out. She has gotten so good at opening out of those twisting elements, finding the ground perfectly, and just dropping it in.
Remember, they're hoping to replace the score of Michelle Gauthier's 9.275, so this will be not only a big score, but it'll be their 5th huge score of their counting scores to this point. None of them are below 9.9. Let's go down to Laura.
Bart, Carly Sims for Alabama made her return to the floor last week coming back from injury. She said it was especially special because it was on senior night, and it meant the world to her to perform in front of her home crowd. But she said she's got to clean up some details. That's her focus this week. Also, being sidelined really helped her as a leader. She learned how to compete better watching her team.
It's pretty rare that a gymnast has a foot surgery in January, and here we are in early March, and she is back in the lineup on floor of all things. She had some bone chips removed from her ankle.
One thing that's hard about this event, especially when you haven't been able to train, is keeping the endurance up so that you can do 3 tumbling passes, the entire choreography, perform it to the fullest, which is just takes a lot of energy. Oh, a little low, but she pulled it out. She will just get better and better the more she gets to train, the more she gets to compete.
Okay, so Alabama wraps it up on floor there. The senior Carly Sims back in the lineup, recovered from that foot surgery. And by the way, over on the beam, Ashley Natt got deductions for those slight bobbles, a 9.825. But Laura is with Dee Dee Bro right now.
Well, thank you, Bart and Dee Dee. We continue to see the toughness and fight and attacking of the landings from your beam team. What's the key there?
I think it's what we're doing in the gym. It's a consistent approach to training, and this group really embraces beam. They love it.
You're going to head into floor. You got a wild crowd here. How will this team feed off of the crowd in floor to get the results you want?
Well, the thing we've done in practice this week is focus on controlling our landings. So let's hope we don't over-control and get out there and have a good time. Just let it go.
We're letting it go in here, Bart. It's loud.
They're having a fun time tonight in the PMAC. And, of course, LSU will go to the floor, and they will bring the house down. But Macadeg, terrific on beam, a season high as the leadoff performer with a 9.925. Our final performance is when we come back.
We have built a tremendous program here, and it's built around the pride and the tradition of the LSU Tigers. Will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. And so those kinds of things, I think, are the things that drive me. But, you know, I love Louisiana. I have a tremendous amount of respect for what LSU represents in the state, and I'm a part of that.
You can certainly tell that these head coaches feel honored to have these positions. Dee Dee Bro has done a terrific job for 39 years at LSU, and part of the success of her program has been a lot of terrific decisions, including one to bring on a guy named Jay Clark, who after 20 years at Georgia is in his 4th season here. And as you see him on the right there, the associate head coach was a basketball, baseball, football, and tennis player as an athlete. He's not the kind of guy that was hanging around in a gym when he was growing up. And then Brian Rashilla is the associate head coach at Alabama. And Brian is about 6'6" and about 2-something. He's a big man. He's great at catching flying gymnasts as they go through the air. He's in his 20th season with the team. And, of course, he got involved because he's a big, strong guy who can spot gymnasts. So both of these guys are keys to the success of the programs, and yet neither one of them actually came from gymnastics, which is not unlike someone like Bella Caroli, who was a game changer in the sport of gymnastics, who was a handball player and a track and field athlete of all things. So who knew? All right, let's take a look at the scores here after 3 of 4 rotations. As you can see, LSU with a 148-3, 0.85 ahead of the visiting Crimson Tide from Alabama. When we go back, Alabama goes to the beam and LSU on the floor. All right, make sure you join us for the SEC Championship Saturday, March 19th. 2 incredible sessions of gymnastics. 2 p.m. will be on ESPNU, and that evening at 6 p.m. we'll be on the SEC Network. Oh, man, there's a lot of fun people in this audience tonight, but we're especially thrilled because not only are there great LSU fans, but there's a very, very important guest here. And this is, of course, Mary Lou Retton, 1984 Olympic all-around champion, and your teammate, Kathy.
It's like an 84 reunion.
84, we are so excited to have you.
But most important, your title here tonight is Mom.
Absolutely.
You're here as McKenna Kelly's mom.
Yes, I am.
And tell us about your experience here at LSU so far and what she's enjoyed here.
You know, I mean, first of all, you guys do a fantastic job. You really do. This network, and of course I'm biased, you too. But, you know, this is so much fun. And McKenna, within 6 weeks of coming to this LSU program, called me on the phone and said, Mommy, gymnastics is fun again. And you know, Kathy, my heart just leaped. And I was like, yes, that's what it's about. She's earned her spot here, and I'm so nervous.
All right, well, you stay here with us, Mary Lou, because we're going to ask you, if you don't mind, to commentate a little bit during your daughter's routine, if you can get through it. Mac Brennan leads off Alabama on beam. As I said, these two teams are separated by 85/100ths of a point.
And they definitely have some ground to make up. This is a good event for Alabama. Very well-trained team, especially in pressure situations. I have seen them come up big, even in arenas that are so tense. This is really the type of situation they want as they go into postseason, to try to create the kind of pressure they will feel in a championship situation when it comes down to everyone hitting clutch performances. There's her toss front right into a beat jump.
Talk about what a solid team Alabama is. They're in the top 5 in all 4 events. And they're 3rd as a team right now in NCAA rankings.
Very strong start for Alabama. Oh, way to fight for the landing. They'll get her a little bit on that. She didn't stick it perfectly. Really trying to nail this landing on the 1.5 twist. She just second-guessed it just ever so slightly. Had to take a quick step forward.
Okay. Get ready for LSU on the floor. This place is wound up, and I can tell you, it is loud in the PMAC. Cindy Ewing will be their leadoff performer, the junior from Lafayette, Louisiana.
She opens with a front double twist. There's a lot of front tumbling in this routine. Very nice in terms of amplitude. It's as high as I've seen her do that skill. All of LSU's routines are very high energy. The choreography is just packed. Wow, good control on the landing of that front layout.
She landed in the corner where Ashley Claire Kearney was standing. She is responsible for the choreography. She was a former All-American and national champion here at LSU. Done a really nice job with a variety of different styles of choreography here. I don't know what it sounds like at home, but the music here at the PMAC is about 50% louder than it is anywhere else. It is really rocking in here.
Strong finish. Oh, buckled her knees just a little bit on the double pike landing. And they all finish with the tiger roar, the claws out, showing their fight right at the end of the routine. Now she opened with a front double twist, much higher than I've seen her do that before. Good control. This one, she lost the landing just ever so slightly. Knees buckled forward, and she had to stumble a little into the lunge.
Okay, Lauren Beers will be next. Laura?
Well, Bart, Lauren Beers has been very candid about her tendency to overthink things, but she says at this point in the season, she's feeling a lot better about that, and she's trying to get out of her own head. Dana just told her, I am so proud of you. Just go up there and trust your technique.
Mac Brennan had a 9.875, 9.825, pardon me, in the leadoff role.
This is really a crucial routine. She is so much the heart and soul of this team. And I know every single one of her teammates are off the side, hoping for a secure routine. She needs this for her confidence. You can see her talking to herself, by the way. Here's her series. Needs to be square hip, square up. I just saw a little bit too much nerves going into it. The hesitation before she started.
The trick is to find that proper balance between aggressiveness and calmness on the mean, isn't it?
Absolutely. You have to go into the skill aggressively, but also follow through and finish. Just a little too much overthinking going into that, and sometimes that just overrides. Beautiful on the 1.5 twist, came up with a great landing. As I said, there was a pretty long hesitation before she went into the skill, and I just think that little bit of doubt crept in. She couldn't focus on those strong cues and follow through aggressively.
Got to be better for you think?
Getting some notes on the sideline from Dana Duckworth, who herself was a national beam champion several years ago. How about this? Maya Hambrick scored 9.9 in every home meet here at LSU. The sophomore from Temple, Georgia, was coached by her mother.
This is such a fun routine. Her 4th routine of the evening. And we've seen her really fight through every single skill. Double layout, a little bit off, as I said, all evening long. This just might be one of those times that she has worked through it all. 2.5 twist to a punch front.
LSU has been dynamic on floor, had a 49-7 this year. That is the school and the current national record for 2016 in floor scores. Sydney Ewing led them off with a 9.875.
Off again on that landing. She has been remarkably consistent all season long. This is her one evening to have a few little off moments, but boy, if that's as off as it gets, you're still doing pretty terrific. Just doesn't quite have her bearings on this. The height is nice, good position in the air, just finding the landing, probably piked down a little more than she would normally do. Just caused her toe to rotate.
Back to beam for Alabama. Keely McNear, the junior out of Madison, Mississippi, will be next. 9-3 was the score for Lauren Beers. So a little added pressure. Now Alabama is behind by 0.85 of a point, and they already have a miss. So the rest of the routines have to be solid.
Series back handspring layout, step out, very secure. I can see the nerves, but I also see her calming them, staying in the rhythm, staying focused. Nice comeback routine so far. If she can get this landing, good for her.
Okay, well, the stage is set now for the freshman out of Houston, Texas, McKenna Kelly, who, as I mentioned earlier, is the daughter of Olympic legend Mary Lou Retton and her husband Shannon Kelly, former quarterback at the University of Texas. And so, Mary Lou, we're grateful that you're here, and we're gonna...
I think we need to stand back. She needs a little more room because I watched her in warm-ups. She did every tumbling pass with her daughter. She landed them all.
Come on, McKenna. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Go. Go hard. Lift your hips. Lift. Go, 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 go. Lift. 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 Yes!
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, breathe, girl, breathe. Drive your heels, drive your heels. Go. Drive, drive, drive those heels. Drive them. Stick! Yes! And this is the fun part. Look at that. Land it. Good job. Good job. Okay, girl. Come on. Breathe into the corner. Look for this landing. Patience. Patience. Open up. Patience. Go, McKenna. Go. Yes! Oh, my God.
That's your baby.
That's my baby. Oh, I'm so proud of it.
Oh, congratulations, Mary Lou.
I felt like I just did that.
Well, what do you see, Mary Lou?
I see a gorgeous double layup and just nailed the landing. That's a 10, right? Yeah. And that's double tuck. You know, she's got so much power to be able to open up and look for that landing.
Where the heck did she get that power?
You know, Mary Lou, you are blessed with 4 wonderful daughters, and tonight all attention on one of them, McKenna. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're so happy to see you, and thanks for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
That was a thrill.
Thank you, Kathy.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Asia Sims now for Alabama, the junior out of Orlando.
One of the premier balance beam workers in collegiate gymnastics. Shows just beautiful form. A lot of pressure here on this series. Handled it very well.
Keela McNear had a 9.85.
Boy, I see a tightness in Asia that I don't typically see. That's what pressure will do, but she is handling this so well. She's gonna do her big dismount, round off double back.
Nice.
So well done, almost got the landing. What a great performance, clutch performance.
You know,
by many of these Bama gymnasts.
They go for sometimes the little guy routine, as they call it, with the easier difficulty on the dismount. That was great.
It's
double
funny,
back.
she even warmed up the little guy, but opted to do the big one. I think it was a great move.
9-9-0.
Hey, how about that? McKenna Kelly, Mary Lou's daughter, and 9-9.
Jessica
The PMAC is on fire tonight for LSU. Jessica Savona, as a senior, this will be her final performance here.
And we were here when she first got back into the floor lineup. They have wanted this routine. She had hurt her ankle earlier in the season, and boy, she has such a big bag of tricks on this event. 1.5 twists through to a tuck double back.
This is a good example of where LSU shines with difficulty.
Absolutely. She's going to come back with an E move on her second pass. Full twisting double back. Almost got the landing. Kind of a long step into the lunge, but covered it very well. Lost a little bit of her toe point at the height of the leap. Those are the little details they'll start to really hone in on as they get into championship season. A lot of power in this gymnast. Her final tumbling run. Nice endurance too. Pike double back. Look at the landing. That was the best landing of the routine, but the difficulty was in those first 2 passes. Listen to this crowd. Way to go for the senior. They are giving her everything she deserves. She's worked so hard to get back into shape after hurting her ankle, get back in this lineup, and just nailed the final tumbling pass of her routine.
Well, they don't even want to sit down. They're loving it so much here. 9.95, in comes the score for Savona. We go back to the beam. Katie Bailey set to go. Asia Sims had a 9.8. Laura.
Bart, we've heard the extreme loudness of this crowd all night, and Alabama tried to simulate some of that in their beam practice. They were screaming and yelling and playing all kinds of loud music, but they said it's really hard to simulate. The beam actually shakes here, and they said the floor shakes too. It's a crazy environment.
Wonderful to see the team unity off to the side. They're all holding hands behind each other. Yes, in gymnastics, you go up one at a time. You're up there. Oh, by yourself.
Second fault.
They will have to count one of the falls. That's something rare that doesn't usually happen to Alabama. We saw it when they competed against Arkansas earlier in the season. Tremendous amount of pressure in this arena. The meet has not gone like they hoped. They had misses really from start to finish, little ones, but they fought back. It's a learning experience, obviously. Something they will take into the postseason. Finishes strong with a double twist.
Alabama reigning SEC champions.
Floor score for your Tiger senior, Jessica Savona.
Just a little twist of that foot after the landing. You really got to just attack. But she landed with her toes on the edge of the beam, and boy, that's really hard to recover from.
Score just in now for Jessica Savona, a 9.95 for the senior in her final performance here at home at Baton Rouge. Randy Wyrick, another senior, set to go. We mentioned she tweaked her knee last week in the vault warm-up. She didn't do vault, but she did floor in their big win against Florida in Gainesville.
Very nicely done, full twisting double back. Best landing I've seen yet for her on that pass. Back with a half, layout to a Brandy, little bounce on the landing. Nice to see the three-element combination pass. Strong with the double back, really trying to work on getting the chest up on those landings. As they get into postseason, judges are going to be looking at that.
This is the third week in a row that LSU has been on fire. We saw them at home 2 weeks ago, beat Auburn, then down at Florida last week. And they are now clicking on all cylinders.
Absolutely, and it's what Dee Dee Bro said, you let up, you lose, and she kept the pressure on in training this past week to not just celebrate their beating Florida at Florida. It was great, she says, but it's time to move on.
You see the Roar Zone in full force. They have some wild, fun fans here, and they know what they have in one of the finest teams in the country. As we go now to Nikki Guerrero. She'll be the final performer for Alabama. 9-3 was the score for Katie Bailey.
And this is the perfect anchor routine. She has ice water in her veins, even on this highest level of difficulty here. 2 layouts, one of the few gymnasts in the country doing it. And she does it consistently well, just brilliant. Last week during their senior night, the message was have fun, love your gymnastics, be grateful, enjoy. And trust me, it's no fun having to compete on beam when you've had 2 falls, but it is necessary, it's important. They will build the character, have the experience they need going into postseason, so excellent job by Nikki Guerrero.
You Tiger fans have been fantastic through 2016 at each of our home meets. And tonight is the icing on the cake. A sold-out Heritage Assembly Center.
You hear that? PA announcement.
14,000 296 Tiger fans.
14,296 Tiger fans. They sold out the PMAC for this incredible meet tonight. The score is in. Randy Wyrick has a 9-9.
Randy Wyrick, 9-9-0.
The meet is over even before Ashley Nat will go to the floor. And as we have noted, we were here 2 weeks ago when she delivered a thrilling perfect 10.
I think they want to ice the cake here. This is a great routine to do that with no pressure. She has phenomenal difficulty in this routine, and she is just delightful. This is someone who plays gymnastics. I mean, she just winds up and goes and entertains. Nice floating double layout.
Score, by the way, for Nikki Guerrero, just to tidy things up on beam, was a 9-9 for Alabama.
2.5, twist to a punch front. Perfect control on the landing. Exactly what the judges are looking for. You can see her breathing, getting ready for this final pass. Doesn't want to get ahead of herself, but think about the landing too soon. Shape in the air, nice landing on a pike double back. What a phenomenal performance. Good for her. What a moment. What a night, what a moment for this young lady, for this team. They have built week after week to this moment.
I see Dee Bro and Jay Clark do a chest bump. What fun. This is an exciting team. They do high level of difficulty. They're enormously explosive. This is a team that can challenge for the national championship. And guess what?
There's your
10
icing.
to wrap it up.
There's your icing.
So her fourth 10 of the season. She's gotten 2 on vault and now 2 on floor. Ashley Nat, the junior out of Florida. Wraps this up one in a spectacular fashion. What a magical night here in Baton Rouge. 14,296 people witness an epic moment for the Tigers of LSU. There's your final score. A back-to-back season high. Last week they did it away at Florida. This week at home, 197-925. They beat Alabama on all 4 apparatus tonight. And Dee Bro is with our Laura Rutledge now.
Well, thank you, Barton. Dee Ashley Nat with her 4th perfect 10 of the season. What did you see on that floor routine that led to such a score?
Well, I think her team set her up. They had momentum going in, I think, starting with McKenna. And it just built to that point because they had all the seniors stacked up in front of her. But what a great job. I mean, she just tumbled so well. It brought the house down. I just can't thank our fans enough. It was just a great night.
These last 3 weeks, you beat Auburn, you go on the road, you beat Florida. Tonight you beat Alabama. What's made the difference?
Hard work. We went back in the gym this week and refocused and, you know, trying to do things better. And we ask them each week to get a little bit better. They're very compliant and they're compelled to do their very best. And I couldn't be prouder of them.
What do these seniors mean to you?
Oh, a ton. There's so much maturity and there's so much leadership. They learned from the 3 years prior and they wanted to have a great team experience and continue the tradition.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Dee Bro. What a night for LSU. You know, they lost 5 incredible seniors last year, and yet they still have reloaded and are now a national contender once again. Once again, our final score, 197-925, 196-125. Join us March 19th for the SEC Championship at 2 on ESPNU. So long from Baton Rouge.